Hey, hi, hello there. Welcome to another episode of Random Ass Missy. I am Missy Melissa, Static Missy on all the socials, and I promise you I'm just as awkward and obnoxious over there as I'm going to be here. You're welcome. I'm sorry. Today, I do have a topic. I want to talk a little bit about forgiveness today. So if forgiveness ain't your bag, then maybe this episode is not for you. I am actually going to read you a letter that I wrote to myself to start this off, and then we'll move on from there. And I don't know why I'm having such a hard time with this today, but here we are. So, I should have had it pulled up already. I'm really sorry. All right. So here's the letter I wrote to myself. Dear Melissa, we did it. No more bullshit. We're safe. I'm so sorry you haven't been able to say that this entire time. I'm sorry you felt like being you was dangerous and lonely. I'm sorry you thought everyone hated you. I'm sorry you took kindness for politeness because you saw it so sparingly. I'm sorry you thought you were gross and fat and ugly. I'm sorry others' words were so heavy and you didn't know how to put them down. I'm sorry you thought you were a monster. I'm sorry you thought you were unlovable. I'm sorry we let the self-fulfilling prophecies continue much longer than they should have. I'm sorry you thought that no one was listening, so you decided to stop talking. I'm sorry you wasted your breath in so many spaces that couldn't even hear you. I'm sorry you couldn't see or hear the other side of the wall when others were actually wanting in. I'm sorry you wanted to give up and go home over and over again, and I pushed you too far. I'm sorry you never felt like you had a home. We were the problem and the solution the entire time, and I'm so sorry that it took me this long to realize it. I'm sorry I let you take the blame for things that weren't your fault. I'm sorry that I didn't speak up for you more. I'm sorry that I thought going along with what others wanted was easier than fighting for you. I'm sorry we gave away a teaspoon at a time and ripped ourselves apart so we were more palatable. So we'd seem like we were enough to people that shouldn't have mattered anyway. I'm sorry that I let us crawl under someone else's table for scraps when we should have built our own to sit at. You should have been lording over a table full of sycophants, not eating scraps like a dog. You don't deserve scraps. You never deserved scraps. I'm sorry you thought you were too selfish and spoiled, so you swung the pendulum too far in the other direction. I'm sorry you were raised by grief and guilt and fear. You broke all of them and moved on. I'm so proud of you for this life I get to live because you survived. I'm so sorry for all of this and more. I am also so thankful. Thank you. Thank you for keeping this thing upright even when it went off the rails. You are a badass, and I will never let anyone underestimate you ever again. I'm also going to reinstate more of your style because we always looked good in black with stupid colored hair. I hate dyeing it, but I'll do it over and over again for you. It wasn't ever a phase, and that is just stupid things people say when how you look makes them uncomfortable. I'll get every tattoo you think is kick-ass and cover up any insecurity that anyone else has ever given to you. They weren't good gifts. They were bullshit, and we don't need to keep bullshit, no matter how well-meaning the gifter. Fuck everything you've heard, punk. You're the coolest. I'll walk away from anyone who doesn't know it too. I love you, and I fucking mean it. Love me. So there's the letter I wrote to myself. I wrote it, I don't know, earlier this year, when I was still deep in the pit of despair, but I was climbing out. And I really, really needed to hear it. And I think that a lot of us need to hear it. So I've shared it on a lot of my social media already, but I feel like if I'm going to talk about forgiveness here today, then we should start with that, right? So now that you have gotten the letter that I wrote to myself, let's talk. Forgiveness is essential for you, not for the person who has hurt you, for you. It is essential for you to be better. Just because you forgive somebody doesn't mean you have to let them back in. You just have to forgive them. Because if you hold on to what they've done, it's going to eat through you like an acid, like a cancer. It is going to ruin everything you hold dear if you let it. So please, please, please forgive people, even if you never talk to them ever again. And I actually have an exercise for you. If you want to forgive somebody that you can't physically go have a conversation with. So let's kind of talk about that a little bit. It's usually kind of like a meditation type thing. I'm not gonna like meditate you through it. I'm not very good at that. But what I do and what was taught to me by my dear friend Eric, actually, and he adapted it from somebody else, but I don't remember who. But you get quiet, and it probably takes about 10-15 minutes depending on how much forgiving you need to do and how much purging you need to do. So you get quiet and you picture a place. I just leave it like a blank space with 2 chairs. You could pick a room somewhere with 2 chairs facing each other. You could do it with the 2 of you standing facing each other. But I envision just a blank room with 2 chairs facing each other. They're metal folding chairs, if that matters at all to you. They can be whatever kind of chairs you want them to be. They could be lazy boys, like that part doesn't matter, but that detail is going to help you make it real. And that's why I leave it very minimal, because I just need the detail that they are metal chairs sitting there. But other people need more details to help ground it into themselves, if that makes sense. So whatever details make it feel more real to you, use those details. So you enter this space and you sit in one of the chairs. And in the chair facing you, the person that you need to forgive comes in and sits down in that chair facing you, and you greet each other. And you tell them, I need to let you know how you've hurt me. And all they're going to say back to you is, okay, tell me. And I know that's probably out of character for that person in real life. However, this is for you, and this has very little to do with the actual human being, other than you need to stop giving them your energy in being upset about it. That's what this is really about, is you're leaching energy out, when you keep ruminating through. Anyways, so you're sitting in one chair, the person comes in and they sit down in the other chair, and you tell them, you have injured me, you have hurt me, let me tell you the ways that you have hurt me. And they say, okay, tell me the ways that I have hurt you. And you just, all of it. If you've got to scream and rage at them, then scream and rage at them. But they are going to stay passive. They aren't going to react in any way. They're just going to let you talk it out, because this is for you, and they're just going to stay quiet. So if you've got to rage it out, if you've got to cry it out, if you've got to whisper it, if you've got to like telepathically project it at them, then that's what you do. Because I know that even in your mind space, it can still be really scary, and that's valid. It can absolutely still be scary. That is very valid. So let me get a drink of water. Hang on. I realized I'm like getting drier and drier as I go here. Okay, so they're sitting across from you. They say, yes, tell me what I've done. And you tell them all of it. All of it, all of it, all of it. No matter how small or minuscule a thing is, just get it all out. All of it. Even if they just like fucking looked at you wrong. Like, at it. Everything they have ever done to hurt you. Whether it was intentional or not, that doesn't matter. The fact is that it happened. It doesn't matter what the intentions were on their part. It's the fact that it happened, and you deserve closure no matter what their intentions were. So you get it all out however you have to, even if you have to write it out and hand it to them and watch them read it. Like, that works too. So they don't react. You get it all out. And when you're done, they apologize. A sincere, heartfelt apology. Even if you're not going to get that from them in real life, that's okay. This is where you get it. This is where you get it because you control this space, and they owe it to you. So you get it from them. They tell you, I am so sorry that I hurt you. Hard stop. I am so sorry that I hurt you. Hard stop. And then after that, if you want them to tell you more, whatever you need to hear from them, make them say, because this is about you. So whatever it is that you need to hear from them, other than I am so sorry that this thing happened, you make them say it, even if it's something they would never, ever utter in real life, ever. Because this is about you and this is about your closure. So whatever you need for closure, you make that person say and make them mean it. Absolutely make them mean it. And then you thank them and you tell them, I love you, but you cannot hurt me anymore. And from this point forward, you can never hurt me again. And you send them on their way. You can hug them if you want to. You can slap them if you want to. You can take that metal chair and give them a good WWE, like whatever it is you need for closure. But the important thing is you thank them and you send them on their way and let them know that they can no longer hurt you. And you might need to do this more than once. I know I have to do it regularly with a couple of people in my life because no matter how healed I am, it goes so deeply within me that I have to keep forgiving them over and over and over again. And that's okay because forgiveness isn't linear, like everything in life, it's not linear. It's a spiral. It's not a circle, it's a spiral, right? Because we're still progressing forward, but we may be progressing forward on the crazy, spiral. It's a spiral upwards, not a spiral downwards, I promise. So that is a little exercise to get that apology out of people that you won't get it out of in the IRL third dimension. You can still get it out of them in your own psyche. And it really does help a lot if you can sit down and be serious about it and really just like hash it out with that version of them that's in your head. Then it's going to do wonders for you, because really you're just reprogramming your subconscious. And that's what you need, because in reality, we're not going to get an apology out of a lot of people that we deserve an apology from. And I'm so sorry that we're not, but you can still get an apology out of them just within your own psyche. And forgiveness is not letting them use you as a doormat. Forgiveness is not letting them back in. Forgiveness is not forgetting what happened. You don't need to forget what happened if you don't want to, but you need to make peace with what happened, because that is where it's going to fester if you don't make peace with it. So getting that forgiveness out of them, or giving them that forgiveness, rather, getting that apology out of them and giving them forgiveness is really crucial to your own well-being. It doesn't have to be in the flesh, because, there are some people you should just never talk to ever again, and they shouldn't have been in your life in the first place, other than the fact that they needed to teach you something. So, nothing is ever a failure unless it didn't teach you anything. Nothing is ever a failure unless it didn't teach you anything. So all those things that you think you failed at, you need to forgive yourself, because there's a lesson to be learned from it. And once you learn the lesson, it's not a failure anymore, and you can forgive yourself and move on. And I know that forgiving yourself is the hard one, because sometimes we can't even admit what we've done wrong. When I realized I was the one who planted that knife in my back, that was a lot. That was a lot. When I pulled that knife handle out and I realized it was my own knife and I had put it there, that was so hard. It almost destroyed me a couple of times, because there wasn't just one knife. There was more than one, and most of them were mine. Like, sure, other people did stab me in the back, but there were some times where I just was like preemptively stabbing myself in the back, so somebody else couldn't. And what does that do for you? Absolutely nothing, other than make you bleed out, right? So, where are you holding on to things into your life that need to be let go of? because you can send whatever it is on its way with love and peace out, you know, like um, whatever peace you can make makes room for good things in your life. But you've got to make some peace in there. You've got to make some peace in there so the peace can make room for the good things that you deserve, because you deserve good things. You just got to find out where you're holding on to things that are taking up space that need to go. Because once you get rid of all that stuff that shouldn't be taking up space anymore, then the void can be filled in with the good stuff, you know? Because even in the void, there's something. You just don't always know what it is because it's the void, right? Usually it's my screaming. That's what's in the void. The void might have a restraining order against me because I just spend so much time screaming at it. It's like, lady, you need to shut the fuck up. Quit your screaming. Quit your bitching. Man, I was serious there for like a whole 15 minutes. What happened? But that's seriously how passionate I am about forgiveness and making peace. It can keep me serious for a whole 15 minutes, which in ADHD world is like forever, right? It's an eternity. So yeah, figure out who you got to forgive, make some peace, and make some space, because there are some really, really good things coming. They're just hiding behind all that fear and all that resentment, because there is definitely a lot of fear and anxiety floating around right now, you know? And if we can get rid of that, then there's dancing space, you know? Like, we got to make room to dance, all right? Even if it's bad dad dancing to 80s goth music, whatever floats your boat, right? Personally, heavy metal floats my boat, but you know, I can dance to that stupidly, but whatever. Shaking your ass is shaking your ass. So sometimes you just got to listen to a grown man scream about his feelings, right? Or grown woman scream about her feelings, because you know, spirit box, I see you. And there's many other amazing metal bands with women as, you know, the front man or all of the band members. But I don't know, there's just something about a dude screaming about his feelings for me, especially when his name is Chris Motionless. Like, I like when that dude screams about his feelings. And now I'm just thinking about Motionless in White, and that is a topic that is dangerous. So let's talk about something else. When you really take the time to sit with yourself, you can really work through just about anything. But really just like taking the time to sit with yourself, like, what do I need? And actually listening. What do I need? Well, you probably need some water, because the circles that I run in tend to be dehydrated, like chronically. So drink some fucking water, will ya? And hey, I used to hate water. I still don't like water, like drinking water. Like, I like being in water. I am a water sign. I am like all water sign. But I like being in water. I just don't want to drink it. Water tastes weird to me. And I know some of you are like, water doesn't taste like anything, asshole. What are you talking about? Water tastes like things, okay? Especially if it's city water. City water is gross. I don't want to drink chlorinated water, like even out of a pool. I don't want to, okay? And bottled water, a lot of bottled waters taste gross. I just like, bleh. Right now I'm drinking well water, and I don't always want to drink well water, especially where I'm from, because there's an old Air Force base, and there's chemicals in the ground. But I may be out of the danger zone. I don't know. But at the moment, I cannot afford bottled water. So here we are. I was just drinking bottled water when I first moved here, but like, ain't nobody got the cash for that, right? Especially when I started drinking like enough water to sustain the body. And I think that happened, I don't know, maybe when I was in Mexico last year, because obviously I'm not drinking water out of the tap in Mexico, so I just always had a bottle of water with me. And then that kind of translated when I came home. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna always make sure I have water. Um, and now I just drink it out of this, which it's feely. It's got a texture. I like the texture. That, and it's like this bizarre iridescent. I just like it. So yeah, drink water, please. Your body will thank you. But yeah, we really need to take time to just sit with ourselves and be quiet and let our bodies do the talking, right? Let our subconscious do the talking. Let the parts of us that we don't hear from do the talking, like our inner child, like our inner teen, that young adult version of us that, isn't quite as far back as the rest of them. Unless you're old like me, and then the young adult version of you is kind of far away. She's not that far away. It's only like 15, 20 years ago. But I digress. when when you finally like get into that safe space, like I am good no matter what happens outside of me, like you're almost unstoppable. You know what I mean? Like that's the real hurdle, is feeling safe no matter what's happening around you, because you've got you. And when you can like look at your inner child and be like, I've got you, because you deserve someone to be there for you, and I'm the one who's going to do it. They will just like melt into your arms. Like you can literally meditate, go back in time, and just scoop up a past version of yourself and hug them tightly and tell them, you've got this. I believe in you when no one else will. I am you, and I believe in you, and I've got you. And it will change your current reality going into the past like that. You can also do it for other people too. You can absolutely go back in time for your family members and grab that past version of your family member and squeeze them tight and say, I understand that this is hard for you. You've got this. Future you survives, and that might help them out. Whatever they need to hear, it's a very intuitive thing, what you actually need to hear, what that person actually needs to hear. But I've gone back a handful of times to a past version of me, and I'm like, baby, you got this. Like, I know that you aren't even sure you're going to wake up tomorrow morning, but I assure you, you are. I am you, and you are a badass, and we get there. And that has helped me immensely in lots of ways, because the past versions of me are some of the saddest bitches I've ever met in my life, and they deserve good things. And so I'm here to deliver the good things. No matter what I have to do, I'm here to deliver the good things for those past versions of me, because they deserve it and they didn't get it. So I'm going to give it to them. And sometimes that's all I have left, is I'm doing this for the past version of me. The past version of me deserves to win, so I'm going to make sure she wins. Yeah. Wow, I was really serious all over again, wasn't I? I can be serious, I promise. Um, and I think when I get this serious, it's showing you like how passionate I am about this. Like this is where I am ready to throw down for people, right? Like taking care of yourself, I'm ready to throw down. Even though I am still learning how to take care of myself, like I'm not great at it, but I'm good. Like I'm learning. I am absolutely learning how to best take care of myself. And putting myself before others sucks so much, but I have to do it because I abandoned myself so many times to help other people, and that's not right. I didn't deserve that. I didn't deserve that at all. I gave 3,000% when I had 3% battery. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know where I pulled it from, but I need to pull it from somewhere for me, you know? Like, I deserve that of myself. And you deserve that of you. You deserve to show up for yourself because you deserve it. You deserve all the love and kindness that you give to other people and more. You absolutely do. You absolutely deserve all the love and kindness you give to other people. And I deserve it too. So let's give it to ourselves. You got to give it to yourself. Like, nobody else is going to have you like you've got you, because nobody else is going to spend every waking moment with you but you. Like, you spend all the waking and all the sleeping moments with yourself, so how about you make nice at least a little bit, right? Because this whole society is just constantly telling us to abandon ourselves and pick up something shiny. Like, you shouldn't be alone with yourself. You should always be doing, always be buying, always be consuming. Consume, consume, consume. Like, it's all about consuming. And it's like, how about you consume yourself a little bit? Not in a way that is going to harm you. Like, sometimes I will make a TikTok and then I'll watch it because I need to hear it too. I actually make a lot of TikToks that like thunk me on top of the head, and I'm like, oh well, shit. And I do a bunch of really stupid stuff on TikTok too. Like, I've been on TikTok since 2019. There's a lot of stupid shit on my TikTok, but some of it is really insightful things that have like just dropped into my lap, and I'm like, well, I'm not the only one who needs to hear that. Somebody else needs to hear that too. So I am so grateful to be able to share. I am so grateful to live this strange and beautiful life I'm living, because it has been very strange. But all the best people are strange. So there's that. um, it's it's not necessarily all that strange to me, but when I tell people about my life, they're like, man, who does that happen to? I'm like, me. Like, I got to watch a plane land on the highway once. That was interesting. It was just like a little puddle jumper plane, but something had happened, and I think one of his engines went out, and so he landed in the median as cars are going by on either side. You know, it was a sight to behold. He was fine. They were able to get the plane going again, and he was able, you know, to keep on going. But he was really only, I don't know, like 5 to 10 miles from the airport when he had to stop. So that's pretty impressive that he made it that close. He just didn't make it all the way to the airport. It was just a teeny tiny airport. It wasn't like a big one. But yeah, I used to live near this airport. And now I live near an airport again. I don't know what's going on. The old Air Force base here got turned into an airport. And yeah, I don't know why I keep living near airports. Maybe there's something there. I don't know. But there are never airports that I can use. Like, because the one up here is mostly like cargo. And the one I lived near before in the Howell, Michigan area, that one isn't like a commercial airport either. That's usually cargo, I think, or executives. A lot of executives land there because there's a lot of manufacturing in the area. Anyways, I don't know what that had to do with anything, but here we are. Yeah, I've got a lot of strange stories. I just don't always remember all of them all at once. Like, there's no catalog, it's all just a heap. And so, unless you trigger a memory with a word, something you say to me, I won't find it. Who knows where it went? It's in there somewhere. And a lot of things just got kicked out of my ear, you know, because I knew a lot of really useless information. Like, I used to be able to tell you all about art, like the Renaissance period. And uh, yeah, I used to be able to tell you about Aristotle and all kinds of weird shit, but I don't remember any of that stuff anymore. It's gone. Poof, off it went. Anyways, we are at the 30-minute mark, so thank you so much for joining me for this strange and beautiful journey. Tell me about forgiveness in the comments. Even if it's like I need to forgive a person because they did this awful thing to me. Like, go ahead, throw it in the comments. Please no confessions of crimes. I don't want to get you in any sort of trouble that way, because I'm sure authorities look at social media. I am positive authorities look at social media. So don't admit to any crimes, okay? Okay. I love you, and I will see you next time. Bye.